Hi.
Hi. We're the WeIsMcG team.
From Harmony Middle School in Loudoun County. We do 7th grade English.
And today we're planning for a Socratic seminar.
Right.
So, you like the driving? The nonfiction driving one to use?
Yes.
Or do you want to keep going with Unbroken?
No, I think Unbroken is a really good one to practice with, but I think that we should switch it up for the real deal. And I think the novel will be too much.
I agree.
Yeah, having
to hold all that in their heads.
hold on and having 10 different novels, I just think could be too much. So I think this is a good way to change it up a little bit.
Okay, so they're going to read it ahead of time.
Right.
Annotate it.
Are they going to do that in class?
I think we could do both. I was thinking of them annotating. I guess I was thinking more at home, which they hardly ever do. Maybe we shouldn't. And then a chance to talk about it, like they did on the video with the partners.
Yeah.
Kind of feeding off each
What
other.
if we, like we were talking about before, we have them read it in class and annotate it, and then bring it home and have a discussion with their parents?
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if they don't do that, they won't be hurt by it. But if they do, then they could really
Go
get
to
something
town.
from it.
So meet again with a writing partner before the seminar. Little verbal rehearsal in there.
Yeah.
Or do you think
Should that be
you
the
better
same?
just jump it in?
Same day as it, or so have it be 3 class periods? That would be a lot.
So annotate, take it home, next class.
Annotate, meet with partners,
Mm-hmm.
same day, and then take it home, and then the next class go for it?
I say yes. What do you think?
So.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I don't think they need, it's not a very long article. They don't need more time than that to do that.
Abby White, please report to the main office. Abby White, please report to the main office.
Yeah, I think that would work. 2 classes, and we've already had the practice.
They kind of had the hang of it quicker than I thought.
They did a good job with it. I think they did a really good job with it.
All right, so what part do you want to do day 1 when we introduce the article? What are you thinking? Because work time is going to be them annotating, right?
Right.
How did they do with the annotating before? Do you think they need a refresher on that mini lesson?
I think it was hard because they didn't have copies of the articles, so they couldn't write directly on it. So they were kind of doing it backwards. And I think that was harder. But they were able to do it.
Yeah.
So I think if they have the copies and they can write directly on it, it's going to make life a lot easier for them.
And what about the amount of annotation things that we had? Too many? No. I
thought it was good.
It's fine the way it is. We don't need to tweak it.
I don't think we need to tweak it. And
Okay.
they're familiar with it and comfortable with it. So
Yeah.
I think keeping it the same this time, and then we can change it up next time.
So maybe just a brief review of
Mhm.
that, especially if somebody was absent.
Yeah. That works.
I do think we need to stress that it's about the discussion. It's about them talking to each other.
Right.
Do you think they got that today?
I felt like keeping it with the same number of questions as answers limited the discussion. We need more, you need to be able to answer more times than you ask.
So what do you think? We had 3 and 3.
But see, then again, you're limited to only answering 1 question. And I feel like
Just
you
follow
could have 3 people answer 1 question, and if you do that, then we're gonna run out of answer cards.
Right.
Like that's what happened today. So if you have 4 answer cards and 2 questions, then 2 people can answer every question. Is that right?
4 and 2.
It's
And
4
that
and
would
2.
still work out for the rubric, because it's 18.
Does that would that be the right math at 4?
You're asking me about math. Let's try it.
Okay.
Let's try it.
I think that it would lead to more discussion, and then we
Well,
won't
that's what
end
we
up
want.
with like Kaylee answering her own questions at the end.
What did you think about her not jumping
I
into
was-
this one?
I know, I was a little bit worried about that. I wanted to hear what she had to say.
I know, more than anybody else. I
Me
wanted to hear what
too.
she had to say.
Me too. And Amanda was so sweet. She was like patting her back. That's question number 4, trying to encourage her to jump in there. But and I think all
Too
the
big.
kids were kind of looking at her like, what she gonna say? But
Yeah.
I don't blame her.
I don't either.
This is a hard one.
Yeah.
Had to be a hard one for her. Okay, so I think the other thing that we need to practice the next time we do our practice is having the outside group assess the inside group. If we're going to do that, if they're going to keep track of what their partner says, they should practice that at least with this next go around, if we end up switching them the next time.
Yeah.
For practice. So we need to get those forms together about how they're going to do that, or do you?
I think they were a little complicated. The ones that Jennifer had.
Yeah,
I don't think they need to be that complicated.
let's simplify it.
What did they do well? What do they need to work on?
Trying to think of how we can word that for them so that it's meaningful feedback. Are they keeping tallies or no?
We're keeping tallies.
We are.
I mean, that's typically how it's done.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay.
I think they know to a certain extent what feedback is from their writing partners. So they know what it means to tell somebody good and bad. So I don't think they're starting from ground zero,
No,
but they
that's
haven't
true.
done it orally, you know.
Yeah.
It's a different skill set.
The other thing I noticed that even with the courts question, was very creative.
I was really proud of that. I was just saying.
Maybe we can write Q and A on the cards.
Good
or
idea.
for the ones
Q
that
and
are
R.
Like Q and R.
For red.
Red.
Unless we want to change the color. It was like 9:30 and I'm like, what is the
Amethyst.
color?
Amethyst and quartz.
That could be pretty.
It could be, very pretty.
And that might, actually, let's do that. Let's do amethyst and quartz because it'll make more, I mean, they say answer, they don't say response.
They don't say response.
And amethyst and quartz go together.
And then they'll
So
think
make
we're
them
really
purple.
crazy.
It will be confirmed.
Okay, so what should we get done between now and tomorrow?
I would say the key thing is the feedback. So if you
The
want to
feedback
work
form.
on
Sure.
like 3 things to really focus on. Okay. 3 things we want them to notice. What do we want them to notice?
I don't know.
Listening. They gotta be listening.
Yeah.
Because some of the kids were like nodding their heads and, you know, that
Yes.
active listening
Yeah.
skill set.
Yes. And I think that when they're responding, like Cameron was responding with 1-word answers, which really wasn't helping the discussion. So I think that'd be an easy thing for them to assess each other on as their response. Was it meaningful? Did it spur other people to want to respond to?
Was there a because in there if they gave an opinion?
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll work on the amethyst and quartz with A's and Q's. Maybe copies of the rubric so they can see that.
If we have a working copy machine.
Or not. Okay, forget that idea. That's not gonna happen.
And, okay, so listening, response, and then what about questioning? Are we going to have them?
I have a cheat sheet, but I couldn't copy it. The blooms.
Yeah, they're
Stems.
going to assess their question, is what
I
I'm
was,
saying,
I thought you were talking
for
about
the
that.
feedback from their partner. They're already going to be working with their partner on developing the question, so they probably don't need to assess the question, do they? Maybe just
don't
more,
think
did
so.
they ask the question?
Maybe more the responses, because the questions have already been addressed. So maybe when their
Okay.
feedback is just
So just
their response
listening and
answers.
responses.
Yeah.
I think that seems right.
Yeah.
They don't need to 2 feedbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll look at what, okay. I'll look at what has already been created and see if I can tweak that a little bit more, or if I've got to start over at the beginning.
Okay. And I'll get the stems ready and the cards ready.
And
You're gonna do the
we're
feedback.
gonna have to hopefully copy the article.
Well, there's always the office copier, which is where I've been going.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Nobody's got me yet, so it's okay.
Okay.
So you'll go over the feedback part, right?
Yep, okay. That sounds good.
Cool. Yay!
Yay!
That one's hard.